Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 8 of season 4 of the F123 My Team Career Mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Monaco Grand Prix, the jewel in the Formula 1 crown, the one that they all want to win. And speaking of winning, if you missed out on yesterday's video from the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. Of course, it's been a pretty dramatic opening 7 races to the campaign. We've now reached 1/3 distance in the championship, and so far, we're sat up in P2 there. 38 points back behind Max Verstappen, 7 ahead of Yuki Tsunoda, who is a further 7 ahead of my teammate Lando Norris. 45 the deficit to Red Bull as we head in towards the greatest race of them all here. But what are we going to be able to do this weekend here at Monaco? That is the big question. You know, this is easily my best chance to win around this venue inside F123. I'm called Mr. Monaco inside this game. Let's hope that backs itself up today. Well, this, of course, is the one they all want to win. I love bringing out all the cliches here at Monaco for the Grand Prix. And, of course, we all know as well just how important Saturday is around this place as well. We really want to try and make it through Q1 and Q2 with minimal drama and hope that we've got the pace today in Q3. Of course, you know, it's not quite as bad as old games. You definitely can find your way around, you know, especially with how powerful the undercut can be inside F123. So, you know, there is the opportunity on Sunday if something goes a little bit wrong, and often actually around this place we've actually made up some spots as well. That's not going to be the way to start Q1 though. Nudging the wall there, picking up a tiny bit of front wing damage. So let's just continue on the lap though and see what kind of representative we can get. Oh, well, nudging the wall through both the entry and exit of Tabac is certainly not going to do us any favours either. To make our way in towards the final corner, I think we've basically lost everything on that side of the wing, and as we head up towards the line, the time would back that up. P15. I mean, to be fair, it's not a bad time considering everything, but it won't be enough to see us into Q2. And here we go then, heading back out in Q1. Let's try and hope for minimal drama then and get this good lap time on the board there. I mean, we might still theoretically make it through, but never really want to run that risk around this venue. Times are going to be down into the 109s by Q3, but yeah, really now we only need actually about another half a second over my first run there, as all grazing the wall as we make our way through Casino Square, nice and sideways. I think it was Jean Alesi, or it was either Jean Alesi or Gerhard Berger who famously would kick the back end out through there back in the very last V12 Ferrari. I think it must have been Jean Alesi, mustn't it, in 95? But yeah, as we make our way down the hill, already found about 3/10 then, and of course really it should be the second half of the lap where more and more time is discovered. Let's just wait and see what we can do through the Portier chicane. Rattle it over the curbing, try and get on the throttle on the exit. We are still only in P15 though, so we might be safely through anyway here as purple through the middle sector will go. Nudge the wall. Somehow get away with that one that time round as in towards the final corners, trying to straight line break through Raskas. Oh, slap the wall on the exit. Almost did a Michael Schumacher, but out of the final corner, we would have made it through anyway, but 1.5 seconds up. That's going to be a 10-0, and I think that is P1 at the end of Q1. Well, I want to try and get through Q2 on a single set of tyres here, so we're going out with about 7 minutes on the clock. Means if I need to go for a second run, I can, but hopefully will mean that we can get through and into Q3 on a single run there. 180 miles an hour on the way into Turn 1 is absolutely mental, as we actually almost did a Felipe Massa through that first corner, but let's try and go for it. Keep it clean, keep it composed. If we can get into the 9s, that will be good. The flaps felt pretty good, actually able to upshift on the way through the exit of the swimming pool chicane, but nice traction at the final corner. Shortest run to the line, that's going to be a 9.7. So we are the first car then this weekend to dip under 70 seconds around here, and that should be us into Q3. But Ferrari appear to be our biggest threat. The clouds looking more and more overcast as we head into Q3, but it's actually been Carlos Sainz that has been the biggest threat so far here in Saturday's qualifying, even going quicker than the homeboy Charles Leclerc. But we need 2 sweat mode laps. We need to be brave and we need to be committed around here. We know there's probably about a 9.5 in the car, maybe even more than that, but we've just got to get it hooked up. Well, a very, very ragged opening lap here to Q3. Oh, big snap of oversteer out the final corner. Want to eliminate that as best as possible. It's only a 10-1, and that puts us P4 after the first run, but it appears that Sainz hasn't got the lap in either. This has suddenly become one shot. Well, Lando Norris now has set a 1:09.8 here. We know we can go quicker than that. We've already gone quicker than that so far in qualifying, but we have not been able to perform in the last couple of qualifying sessions. 1 pole to our name this season. This is absolutely the place I would love to turn that into 2. Let's go for it. One final lap here from the Monaco Grand Prix. I need to make this count. It's been scruffy, but out of the final corner. We're 3 tenths up at the moment. Is this going to be enough for pole position? 4 tenths up. It's a 1:09.6 despite it not being perfect. We've done it. We are on pole for the Monaco Grand Prix. Get in there. Well, 2 tenths clear then at the end of Q3, and clearly no one else to improve right at the end of the session there. Goes to show track conditions are actually getting worse and worse as the skies became more and more grey. But it is pole position here, an Audi 1-2 ready for the Monaco Grand Prix. TSUNODA lines up P3 there. Championship leader Verstappen all the way down in 8th, so he's had a nightmare on Saturday, but things can change here at Monaco. Let's try and win this thing here on race day Sunday.
Formula One returns to Monte Carlo once again today, home to the world-famous Monte Carlo Casino that first opened in 1863. And of course, a certain road race first held in 1929. There's no greater an occasion, no more valuable a win than the Monaco Grand Prix. The prestigious Circuit de Monaco, then, is not all that dissimilar today to the layout that made its debut almost a century ago. It's 2 miles and 19 corners through the streets of Monte Carlo. And although the average lap speed of around 93 miles per hour is the lowest of the season, the tiny margins for error make it the natural habitat of the safety car. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Mr. Monaco lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have TSUNODA, Leclerc, Sainz, Gasly, Russell, Verstappen, Albon, Ocon, Oscar Piastri, Magnussen, Drugovich, Théo Pourchaire, Stroll, Doohan, Fittipaldi, De Vries, Liam Lawson, Joe, Sargent, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Let's talk about Mr. Monaco. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
They've been avoiding mistakes and have had solid pace, so it's been a good season so far, but whether they can keep that up long-term remains to be seen.
Okay, we've got that relief of having points on the board finally, so let's keep that form up and get another top 10 finish today, please.
Well, hang on a minute, Anthony Davidson. We've been very, very unlucky this season. We probably could have had 4 or 5 wins had things gone our way, but we have had the 1, and hopefully today we're going to try and make it 2. I'm going to go far more aggressive on the strategy than the game is suggesting there. We can often hit probably about lap 15. The medium tyres will go a long old way around this venue, and I can underfuel the car as well because, let's be fair, if things go badly, we can easily, a bit like last season, park the bus if needed. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one though. We got Norris and TSUNODA on the mediums, Leclerc and Sainz on the hards, so just controlling the pace early on is going to be essential, and making it into turn 1 in P1. Right, let's do this thing though. Monaco Grand Prix, waiting on those 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go. Just trying to be careful on the wheel spin as we head down in towards turn 1. Lando has started off better. And Lando Norris has had me. Absolutely had me there through the first corner, straight to the lead of the Grand Prix. I thought he'd outbroke himself, honestly, down into turn 1 there. Looks like Tsunoda's gone nowhere either, as both Ferraris, despite being on the harder tyres, immediately go up into P3 and P4 there. So it is Audi, Ferrari, but no one, I think, in the top 4, no one inside the top 5, sorry, is where they started this race. As yellow flag's already out, of course, due to the Constantina and up on this opening lap. That is not the line through there, getting all out of shape on the opening lap. Luckily, it was only tyre face to barrier contact, but yeah, Lando Norris could not have asked for a better start here to this Grand Prix, but like I said, a lot of things can change with the undercut around this venue, so I'm not going to worry too much early on. We're going to try and apply some pressure to my teammate, but of course the far more important thing than that is just about settling down into our rhythm and making sure we're comfortable in our own car. Of course, the AI, they can just drive at 100% immediately on this game, or 104% of course with my AI level, but we can't do that. We have to try and settle in and all that kind of thing. There is Lando Norris then trying to streak away. He's going to do everything he can within his power to pull away at the start, and I'm going to do everything within my power to stop him. Well, starting lap 3 though, and I mean, looking at Ferrari, both obviously on that set of hard compound tyres, we've got a fantastic opportunity here, of course. You know, it is very early on, but we all know just how important the pit stop cycle is around this venue, so will we be able to try and pull away and potentially re-emerge still towards the front of the field when we do have to make our mandatory stop? Of course, be decided a little bit later on, but yeah, I don't quite know actually what sort of how long a pit stop will take here, but I'd love ideally to have sort of 15 seconds or so. Well, this is the other problem, of course, you get with this track on this game, is it's really easy to overheat the tyres by working too hard to stay close to the car in front. Lando Norris is making those those medium tyres work fantastically early on here. That gap is already opening up slightly more than I would want it to. I was hoping we could try and keep it within 2 seconds, but it's not happening, as yeah, we're looking more at that gap to sort of Tsunoda behind. Well, Lando Norris is seemingly driving like a man possessed early on in this GP. The gap to Tsunoda is hovering still about 4 seconds, but Lando is just pulling out close to a second a lap on me, and I don't know how. Okay, maybe the AI are slightly quicker, but I don't get how Lando Norris is that fast this early on, unless the mediums are just made of something special. Yellow's out. Oh, someone's gone off. Yuki Tsunoda seems to have tipped around, and surely that's going to be a safety car. It's a red flag here in this Grand Prix. Russell's picked up a 5-second penalty. I've got no idea what has gone on there, but red flag then here in the Monaco Grand Prix. Well, let's ride on board then with Yuki Tsunoda in this GP. You can see heading down in towards the exit. Sorry? Yuki Tsunoda has just put full throttle on, and you can see created an absolute roadblock in this GP though. I've got no idea why other cars got penalties, but let's just take a look at that. Sorry again. You can see he comes in nice and slowly. See, he doesn't get the car anywhere near the inside wall there. Already you can see he's got a little bit of oversteer through the second part. Bobbles over the curbing. And at this moment, you'd think any normal driver would just try and, you know, slow the car down, get the car rotated over to the right-hand side. Not Yuki. Puts his foot to the floor, absolutely buries it, and completely goes into the wall sideways there and decides, you know what, I'm going to park on the racing line for a good cause as well. Chaos early on here in the Monaco Grand Prix. And what is that going to mean in terms of strategy then? Oh, it reckons we can do mediums to the end. That is brave to try and see us through to the checkered flag. Will Lando Norris have to go on to hards then to see him through? And just how much fuel are we going to have to try and save in the second half of this thing? Lando has gone... Why has he put me on softs? Having to concentrate off the restart, but why on earth does it put me on a set of the soft compound tyres then? We need to try and hound Lando into turn 1, but we're not going to get an opportunity. Charles Leclerc there trying to move past me. Is it at least put us on a fresh set? Yes, it has. That's okay then. But what on earth? Whoa. I've no idea how we've both got away with that one. But what on earth is that then? It clearly said a set of the hard compound tyres for the rest of the afternoon. Lando Norris is going to be able to go to the end of this Grand Prix, and we definitely are not. TSUNODA as well behind us should be able to. Sainz should as well. So it really is Leclerc and I that have been screwed here in this Grand Prix. And, well, clearly Imola was a break from my bad luck, because this circuit certainly isn't. Charles Leclerc just in front of me trying to hound Lando Norris for the lead. But what are we going to be able to do on this set of soft compound tyres? We'll start at lap 12 then, and we now know our race is very much in the hands of Yuki Tsunoda at the moment. The gap floating at about 2.5 seconds to the Red Bull behind already. So we've been able to pull away from him as DRS has now been enabled. Charles Leclerc still trying to apply pressure to Lando Norris in front, but yeah, we need to try and either box out ahead of Yuki or box out very, very close to him and not in much traffic. I cannot believe instantly this race has been pushed away from me here. I mean, I don't know why I can't believe that. We should believe that by now in this series. No matter bad luck we've had this season, but can we stay close to Lando and Charles? I mean, yeah, really we're going to be looking to try and undercut Charles Leclerc at some point. You really do just try and operate within your own window here at Monaco as best as possible, but I don't know what the best course of action is at this stage of the day. Do we just try and hang out here for ages on this set of softs and hope we get like a safety car or another red flag or something like that? Or do we just pit and play strategy like we've got to try and get to the end the fastest way possible and with the most places gained? I just do not know. I don't think we've ever had a red flag before or a safety car around this venue prior to today and that incident inside F123, so it's still not commonplace around this venue. I also don't know how Leclerc is still inside the DRS range of Lando, but you can see just how hard we're driving this thing. I'm looking at it on the mini-map. I reckon we'd still come out ahead of that Haas car, so we wouldn't be way, way down the order. I think we'd still be ahead of the sort of Formula 1.5 group, if you will. And of course, you know, we might be able to get a jump on Charlie Boy as well, depending on how much longer he wants to extend this stint. But why is that a thing inside F123? It clearly said mediums to the end of the Grand Prix. So why did it decide any differently? I mean, I'd love a safety car or something like that later on in the afternoon. But yeah, just can't do anything on this set of tyres at the moment. Then we're going to come in for our first proper pit stop of the day. George Russell and Alex Albon both with 5-second penalties as well. So might be able to gain something out of those if we needed to towards the end of the day. As Verstappen all the way down in 9th place at the moment. Drugovich is having a good run up in 11th. And yeah, we are going to come out then exactly where I thought we were. Might be racing Lance Stroll a little bit on pit exit, but we should be through. That probably ought to have been a penalty, but I completely locked the rears. That was bizarre. Managed to just about not hit the outside wall. Never mind the insiders. Why now are we on a set of hards? I thought I'd selected mediums to go to the end. Deary, deary me. There we go, new fast lap. So clearly the new tyres have got pace in them. Just try and be very, very careful not to overwork the rubber. Few seconds a lap faster than the cars around us. That is a good sign. And of course, we've also got to see when Charles Leclerc pits, and we can get around some of these other cars. Oh, there we go. Charles Leclerc in the box. Charles Leclerc in the box. So we are going to be ahead then of the Ferrari car, hopefully for the rest of the afternoon. Now we've got to try and find a way around Magnussen as Drugovich now up inside the top 10 here. I must admit, these hard tyres are feeling decent at the moment. Of course, we know they will fall off and fall into line at a more similar pace to the AI's tyres, but we can keep trying to utilise this as best as possible. As down the inside of Magnussen will go at the hairpin. An aggressive move, but would Magnussen do the same? Quite probably, I would imagine.
Brilliant, nice move, keep going.
Well, Drugovich so far this season has done a fine job, the only driver outside of the big 6 teams to have scored a point, and currently he's running like he could score another point here today in Monaco. Even if I get past him, he's still got Albon and Russell both with 5-second penalties further up the road, as long as he can hang close to them by the end of the afternoon. But are we going to be able to get a move on him down at turn 1? Not quite able to there. Definitely a lot quicker, though, than the McLaren around this track. We can see even up the straights, gaining a lot of time and speed all over the back of the Brazilian as we head through here. And a Brazilian in a McLaren around Monaco, it does not get more special than that in my eyes, but we will get around the outside of him. And there we go, back up now into the points. Every place we gain from here is a big, big bonus. Oscar Piastri, of course, knows how to win on a street circuit inside F123. Sadly, it just isn't this street circuit. It's Carlos Sainz into the pit lane then in his Ferrari. That's interesting. So maybe some of the AI are still planning on pitting before this race is down and out. As casually talking about strategy, we've gone around the outside of Oscar Piastri down at Sandevot. Verstappen, championship leader. This is one that I definitely want to get past. But yeah, if we see more drivers pitting off the mediums, maybe we've got a better chance than I thought. Oh, Verstappen, very, very slow as we head down into Tabak. Oh, the Red Bull slaps the wall there as we try to make it through. There was a tiny bit of contact, but no damage. We've got yellows out. I think that's TSUNODA. Yuki Tsunoda out of the Grand Prix, and don't be a safety car, not at this stage. Actually, we could do with one, to be fair, I wouldn't mind. Would give the AI though a free chance to pit as Yuki Tsunoda, Red Bull, their first mechanical failure of the season. As can we get to the outside of Max? No, we can't. The Dutchman certainly knows how to defend in Formula 1, and around Monaco, many, I'm sure, would still argue the easiest track on the calendar to defend at. But we need to try and find a way around him sooner rather than later. Can we get a run down the hill? No, we can't. Again there, Max Verstappen, clearly that Red Bull we saw last weekend at Imola, the straight line speed, but this time around down at the hairpin, similar to Magnussen, will dive it down the inside there. More and more wheel banging. We go with the Dutchman. Can we try and get around the outside? Yes, we can. And through Portier, I think there might have been a tiny bit of contact. We certainly squeezed him. I'm not convinced he warranted some car space. Sorry, he was not far enough alongside us. And we have passed our championship leader. Now every place we gain from here is of an even bigger benefit. Just about knock on then. Can we try and get a run down through the tunnel? Of course, finished on the podium here in real life. Gasly backed that up with yet another Alpine podium last weekend at Zandvoort. Oh, really tried to squeeze him there. There was probably not enough room for both of us into the corner, but we'll make it through. I'm talking to Pierre Gasly. Of course, he is running up in the podium places here in Monaco, but yeah, these hard tyres hanging on better than I thought. 2/3 distance this afternoon. See, Albon's got that 5-second penalty, but we could still be on for P2 here. Albon down the inside. Oh, risky that time round. We weren't quite fully alongside on the way in, but the Alpine will try and stay alongside me, but we'll make it through. And obviously George Russell up in P2 with a 5-second penalty. 5 seconds up the road. Lando Norris 15 seconds up the road, so we need about a second a lap on my teammate just over if we want to get to him by the end, but I'm not holding my breath. But he's not. Mark's lying. It's Lando Norris in first place. Don't know how this game can get that kind of thing wrong. Love the handling model and that sort of thing. I love the driving experience of F123, but there are absolutely some things still that absolutely astound me. Yeah, Gasly, a little bit of wobble there, perhaps feeling the pressure instantly with the Audi car breathing down his neck. Can we get a good run out into the tunnel? Yes, we can. Surely we can try and have a look past Pierre Gasly then as we head out of the tunnel down the inside of the Mercedes. Can we get around our second? Was it? Yeah, it was Ocon that we went for the move there, wasn't it? So 2 Frenchmen around the outside of Portier. And he'll probably now be looking just to try and stay close to his teammate to claim that final podium place come the end of the afternoon. There's George Russell and then Lando Norris. It's now a British 1-2-3 here on the Monaco streets. Who says when Lewis was gone that British F1 was dead? 10 laps to go, 11 seconds to my teammate at the final corner to start lap 31. I tell you what, even closing in on George Russell, taking another 1.5 seconds out of Lando Norris that last lap. So if we can get around the murk pretty quickly here, there might still be a chance late on in the day. Can we go for our second clutch victory in a row? As we almost slap the wall through turn 3, right down the outside though of George Russell, go over the bump to make our way down the hill, but we are now back into P2, so even if we were to finish here, I wouldn't feel like we've lost out all too badly today. But can we somehow do the unthinkable and get back to the lead? Something that we haven't been since pretty much the start of this race. There we go, lap 31. We took another 1.5 seconds out of Lando. This could genuinely come down to the wire. The question is, how well will these hard tyres last? We are giving them everything. I just want a chance here. End of 32. The gap down another second. Yes, you're probably going to get running updates from me pretty much every lap to the end. This is really starting to give me Baku vibes. 6.8. The gap down to now after a bit of a sloppy lap. We're just trying to keep the tyres in good check. 6 laps to go. Well, we know when we get a lap nailed what we can do. That time around 1.3 seconds out of Lando Norris. We need more of those towards the end. I reckon get a lap hooked up. There's easily 1.5, 1.6 we can take out of our teammate here. Fuel's going to be fine. We're not going to see a repeat of last season, but we just need to get close. Come on, another second. 4 laps to go. 4 seconds to Lando Norris. We're going to get a chance. It's probably going to be one chance and one chance only on the final lap, but I've just got to make something of it. Yellows, yellows, yellows. Oh, VSC, no. No, that is so bad for us. It gives us less time to take out Lando Norris, or less chance to do it in this Grand Prix, as it's one of the Alpha Taurus that's binned it. Logan Sargent, his AI seems to have been disappeared now. He's in the shadow round, but that is really painful for us. Well, that might be the longest VSC I've ever seen inside F1 23, and yet another stroke of bad luck for me, because of course when we could have been taking bags of time out of Lando, we have not had the opportunity to. 2.5 laps, now the gap 3.5 seconds. Come on, the gap 2.5 seconds, 2 laps to go. We still were able to take a second out of Lando that lap, but I need to be within a second heading into the final lap of this GP. Are his hard tyres finally hitting the cliff? Are we going to get a window? Not convinced, Mark. 1 more lap to go here from the Monaco Principality, and we are still sat behind my teammate Lando Norris. We have pushed all race long to try and give myself a fighting chance there, and I can't help but feel how differently it could have been had just a couple of things gone our way. You know, that red flag, if it had put us on the mediums like it had requested, we might have had a chance here, and that virtual safety car right towards the end probably cost me about a second of trying to close it to Lando Norris, and you never know how that might affect things. So we're getting very, very erratic on this final lap of the Grand Prix, but, well, Imola seemed to have been a one-off then in terms of bad luck this season. We just cannot catch a break in this series. Lando Norris, though, it's only going to be his 3rd Formula 1 Grand Prix victory, but it is certainly going to be the most special. He won in Las Vegas a long old time ago, back in season 1 of this series. Yeah, there we go, it's over. Won, obviously, the Bahrain Grand Prix season opener a few races ago, but in towards the final couple of corners here at the Monaco Grand Prix, he's finally going to return to the top step of the podium. I guess Audi can't be too gutted with a 1-2 here for the team, and a dominant one at that, but round in the final corner, I just so desperately want to win this race, man, but it's going to be yet another P2.
That's it then for another nail-biting Monaco Grand Prix. We were on the edge of our seats the whole time, but they've come through to take a stunning victory. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
Well, tyre management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way onto the podium now. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Despite the best efforts of our championship leader, that lead has taken a bit of a knock today. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
It's got to be Lando Norris, hasn't it? Smooth, confident and assured. I've got no doubt that he and his team are going to be over the moon with his performance today.
Let's move on to the constructors. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One, so be sure to join us for the next one.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Monaco Grand Prix, and Lando Norris finally back on the top step of the podium there. Audi's first back-to-back wins since Mexico and Brazil last season as well, and the full 44 points. So I guess as a team, we can't be too disappointed with that one. Pierre Gasly ahead of George Russell. Mercedes easily their best result of the year so far. Ocon beats out, very, very disappointing Verstappen, who once again has a bit of a nightmare here. Oscar Piastri, Albon, Drugovich gets 2 points for McLaren there, and Kevin Magnussen rounding out our top 10 with neither Ferrari after looking like such threats, which the Ferrari way, isn't it? Looked like a huge threat today and walks away with no points whatsoever. Means championship-wise, the gap at the top back down to 27 points there. Lando just a further 8 behind myself. TSUNODA still in P4, they're ahead of Ocon and Albon there. Then it's still both Aston's, Ferraris and both Mercedes, but they've certainly closed in the gap on Sainz and Leclerc just in front of them. Drugovich still the best of the rest there with 3 points on the board as well. And yeah, the gap at the top of the constructors suddenly down to just 9 points between ourselves and Red Bull. So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very, very soon when Formula One returns ready in Barcelona. You guys do not want to miss that. A massive thank you to my Patreon supporters that you can see currently on your screens. If you want to join them from as little as £1 a month, it would be massively appreciated and you help support my work. You also get access to weekly updates from myself with everything going on behind the scenes with the channel. But yeah, a massive thank you to the names you see on your screen, and we'll be back very soon with a brand new video.